Well, we're in full fall now. Hopefully you've been having a nice autumn, enjoying the good weather, and getting to do all of those fun fall things. Today we're going to a thrift store to look for some pieces that we might need for Thanksgiving and to look for thrifted gifts. I'm also going to DIY a gift for a hostess friend of mine and show you how that chair I won at auction is working out. I got her for $1 plus an $18 Uber ride. Was she worth it? My name is Megan. Come with me to an American thrift to search for gifts to thrift. Okay, we're here. We're ready to thrift for some Thanksgiving themed items. I'm going to be looking for some fall themed items, but mostly things I might need to host Thanksgiving and gifts I would give to a host. One thing to note if we have never been thrifting together before is that I will try to leave in my original audio, but sometimes the thrift store plays music like we're in the club. When that happens, I have to remove the original audio. This could be good for Thanksgiving. It's $24.99. Okay, I found this. I like the colors. It's for a kitchen table. Allegedly. I like that look for Thanksgiving. Lots of options actually. Like all within, I don't see anything over $5. Runners could be good. Napkins. Or placemats. I don't love red, but this is a red that I can get on board with. Kind of matches. See? Alright, let's go with that, and that actually would work with this too. Even though these textures are different, this one might work better. After going through the linens looking for tablecloths and napkins, I'm headed to home decor and kitchenware. If you're new to thrifting gifts for people, maybe your entry point is picture frames. I've thrifted all types of picture frames, some for myself, some as gifts. I print photos that have meaning for me and the gift receiver, and I frame them. I've gifted my boyfriend Ed framed photos from our first trip to Paris and a really cute photo of Ed, Coco, and me from last fall. I think it's a sweet, thoughtful, personal gift, and it's budget friendly. Thanksgiving. This is Ed's pull for the day. Nailed it. If you are hosting, you can thrift pretty much everything you need, from plates and platters to tablecloths and napkins. Here I'm looking for platters for myself or as a host gift. I find that it's always nice to have an extra platter when you have a lot of food and a lot of people. You can also pick up a pot, pan, or colander. If you are going to someone's house, a nice thing to do would be to thrift a pie dish for your host. But don't just wrap the pie dish and give it to them. You make a pie in it and bring it with you to Thanksgiving. It's one less food item that your host has to make. Your thank you to the host is the pie dish. Later in this video, I'm going to show you how to DIY a beeswrap. Beeswraps are used to wrap around food or containers of food to keep food fresh. In addition to the pie dish, you can also gift your host the beeswrap. Both of these gifts are practical and thoughtful. Two things you can always find at the thrift store are coffee mugs and glassware. On their own, they may not seem like gift material, but you can pair them with something else to make a cute gift. For example, you can gift someone a pair of coffee mugs alongside coffee beans, flavored syrup, and 2 spoons. You could gift someone a set of coupe glasses and a bottle of champagne, or wine glasses with wine and a bottle opener. If you are hosting for the first time or hosting a lot more people than you expected, you may need to pick up more dining and servingware. Luckily, sometimes thrift stores have entire sets of dining and servingware: bowls, salad plates, teacups, all of that. If your thrift store doesn't have that, or if you don't like the look of a set, you can mix and match for a more eclectic, collected look. This American thrift had sets as low as, I think it was like $18. It's too literal. It's too beat up. Here is my pull for Thanksgiving. Let's start over here with the brown and white striped apron. I found 2 tablecloths, the moody purple one underneath everything and the one with the pumpkins on it. I found some napkins to match the tablecloths. I didn't pull as many dishes as I possibly could. I showed you a lot of sets, but I only pulled these drip glaze ones. I like the brown tones for autumn. That blue and white circle is a trivet. It's meant to hold hot pans. The holidays are the time when you realize you don't have enough hot pads, so why not gift a trivet? I like them because they often have pretty or interesting designs, so you can leave them on the counter. I found an autumnal looking wreath as well as a cornucopia, which is really weird because Ed randomly told me to look for one before we got to the thrift store today. So that's an example of manifestation right there. There are some very moody, very Thanksgiving feeling art pieces in the back. The one with the leaves looks like it was made with chalk or crayon. I found a bag of stuffed pumpkins, some vintage salt and pepper shakers, a butter dish, a ceramic pumpkin that has a candle inside, which, afterwards they can use it as some kind of container. I found a metal container that you can hang on the wall or your front door, and you can put some dried or faux flowers in it. I pulled that little white crock and then some wire pumpkins for decor. Another gift idea at Thanksgiving is wrapping paper. The holidays are coming up and people may need wrapping paper, so you'll have saved them a trip. The one I found is brand new and it's in its original shrink wrap. You can always give someone a glass or crystal candy dish. They're a common thrift store find. Now that I have shared some thrift gift ideas, let's make the bees wrap. Today we're going to be making bees wrap, a little DIY for a hostess friend of mine. I, in the past, have given these as gifts, but I've bought them from Amazon or some other retailer, and this year I thought I would make them. The reason I want to make them, not only to gift something to a hostess, but I also want to do something good for the environment and to give a gift that's practical, that's very useful, and I can personalize it because rather than buying something from Amazon that only comes in certain sizes and colors and patterns, I can pick my own fabric and really customize it to the person that I'm making the gift for. So these are some of the things that we're gonna need. We're gonna need fabric. We're going to need some beeswax. This I did get off of Amazon. I bought a white or as close to pure white wax that I could get. I didn't want one to have a yellow tint to it, just in case I ended up using a fabric that has a lot of white in it. I wanted it to stay white. So we've got fabric, we've got beeswax, we have parchment paper, we have an iron, I have a Sharpie, and I have some fabric scissors. I thrifted this fabric a while ago. I think I wanted it for my headboard in the bedroom, but it didn't really match because it's a little more purpley blue. My friend is a blue and white girly, so I know she'll like this fabric. She's also a big pie maker, so I wanted to make her a bees wrap that would fit around the pie that she's made for Thanksgiving, just in case she doesn't already have a top for her pie plate or her pie dish. So I'm going to place the pie dish on the fabric that I want to use. I'm just going to draw a little circle around the outside so that it's large enough that it can fold on top of the pie plate. It doesn't have to be perfect, just so that it's big enough to cover, it's big enough to cover the entire pie plate or pie dish, so that, in theory, no air will get in. Now I'm just going to cut out the circle. If you want to get more creative with the edges, you can cut them with specialty scissors that create a pattern like scallops or waves. This bees wrap can be used as an alternative to plastic wrap. You can wash it and reuse it for years. I use my bees wrap regularly for cheese and fruits to keep them fresh. I have placed a towel on the table, something that I don't care about in case wax accidentally gets on it. It's one I use for painting and stuff. So I've put that down on the table. You could probably use an ironing board, but I don't think I have one anymore. So I've just doubled it up a couple times so that it's not going to damage the table. The heat won't permeate through. Then I've placed some parchment paper on top of the towel. After placing the parchment paper on the towel, I'm placing the fabric on top of the parchment paper, and then I'm putting wax on top of the fabric. These are wax pellets. I got them off Amazon. Just sprinkling them pretty liberally. And I want to get close to the corners to make sure that that part of the fabric gets enough coverage wax-wise. You can always add more if you're finding that you don't have enough, like once it's started melting. All right, this should be plenty to get started. Now I'm going to cover this with parchment paper. I'm using just a clean towel, placing that on top of the parchment paper, and then applying heat. The objective here is just to melt all of the wax pellets evenly over that fabric. I tried this DIY with wax paper and parchment paper. Both work, but there are pros and cons of each. The beeswrap with wax paper required more beeswax and more heat, so it took longer to melt. Since wax paper doesn't handle heat the same way as parchment paper, the wax transferred onto the towels. With the parchment paper version, I needed about a third of the beeswax. It melted very quickly and didn't transfer to the towels. However, the wax moved around a lot underneath the parchment paper, so it got onto the towels. The wax did not melt as evenly as it did on the wax paper either. In the end, even though I like the look and feel of the wax paper version, I would use the parchment paper again and be more mindful of the wax placement and thickness so that it emulates the wax paper version. I finished ironing and now I'm going to give it about 10 minutes before I remove the parchment paper, just to give it enough time to cool. I'm going to peel the wax paper off the top. And off the bottom. And I have my beeswax paper. It's been about 10 minutes, so I'm just gonna peel the parchment paper off. Ooh, see how cleanly that came off? Just cleaning up the edges here. Okay, and there I have it. Let's try it on for size. So this is how you'd use it. Let's head out to Queens to pick up the chair that I won at an auction a few weeks ago. I'd been looking for a wingback chair for a while. They were first introduced in England during the 1600s and became popular in the 1700s. Wingbacks are traditional and timeless pieces of furniture and have gone in and out of style for decades. Their design changing ever so slightly, but the basic shape is the same. They were designed as fireside chairs to keep you warm in the front and keeping drafts at bay with their high backs and wings and armrests. My Nana had two in her living room, and I think the wingback chair is going to have a renaissance, a rebirth in popularity. If you go to the thrift store, restore, or you're on Facebook Marketplace, you'll see plenty of wingback chairs, so they're ripe for repurposing. I was going to try to carry this home, but I really don't think I can. I think I have to get an Uber. But here we are. Pretty good shape, kind of dirty. Hopefully we can fix that. It's a lot bigger than I thought it would be. I got her home. I had to take an Uber XL because she's a lot heavier than I thought, which is good because it means that she is a good quality chair. If she was really light, it would just mean her innards and the wood and stuff is not the best. So at this point, I think I'm like $21.25 invested into the chair, which is not terrible. But that's including the Uber XL. Had a little trouble, well, not too much trouble, but it was a little bit of a push through the door. She's much bigger than I thought. I don't know if that's because my furniture is miniature. But note to self, because I do want to upgrade my couch at some point, that I need to remember to measure the things I'm bringing into my house so that they do fit through the front door. All right, I'm going to let Coco out. And I'm sure she'll be like, what the hell is this? You want to see what I got? Look what I got. What's that? Oh, is it a new bed for you? After Coco finishes inspecting the new chair, I'm going to set about my own inspection and start the cleaning process. Update. I thought I was going to be able to take this seat cushion off and clean it in the washer. I cannot, because instead of being a cutout, it is stuffed. I thought it would be like maybe a foam cutout or something. I don't know why I thought that. Maybe because I'm used to IKEA furniture and that's what they have. So yeah, I can't wash this. I'm gonna have to use the little Mr. Clean thing, little green meanie, whatever it's called, that thing to clean it. So yeah, changing the plan, but here we are. Seems enormous, seems slightly enormous. That's okay. I'm still happy. Are you, well, hi. Are you happy? Are you hungry? All right, let's go. Breakfast. I've pretty much run out of stain stick, which is my go-to stain remover. It's actually OxyClean. But this stuff, I mean, it's like a miracle. Amazing. So I put it on the stains. Can you see how, I mean, it looks wet, but that's a stain. I'm hoping that if I leave it on for a few hours and I come back with the little green machine, I'm hoping that I can get out all the dirt and dust. Oh, you missed it. I smacked my hand against it and all this dust flew off. It was disgusting. I mean, you could see, it actually looks more intense on camera. I did vacuum first to get the dust and, you know, cobwebs and other things off of it. And then I applied the Oxy stain stick to the parts that were a little more stain than dust. So hopefully if I leave that on for a few hours, I'll come back, clean it with the little green machine, and it'll all come out. This is my my first time using Bissell's little green machine, and this is not an ad for it. I thought I was going to have to rent something for this project, but surprise, Ed had one, and thank God, because wait until you see what it cleaned off of this chair. In case you're like me and you didn't know much about the little green machine, I'll tell you how it works. You fill up one side of the machine with a water cleanser mixture. You turn on the vacuum and apply the nozzle with the brush to the piece of furniture that you are cleaning. You press down on a button which releases the cleaning solution directly onto the furniture. That's the liquid that you see running down my chair. While squeezing out this cleaning solution, you drag the nozzle over the same part of the furniture and it sucks up the cleaning liquid. That dirty liquid will be collected in a compartment in the body of the main machine. Something to know, which you may have figured out already, is that you should put something underneath the furniture you're cleaning because liquid may drip onto the floor. Also, the cleaning solution is sucked out of the furniture, but not completely. Like, you wouldn't want to sit on this furniture immediately after cleaning it because it will be wet. This is good to know if you're planning to clean your furniture because you're having people over. I waited at least 24 hours before sitting on my chair, and I think it was still a bit damp. At this point in the cleaning process where I went ham, I got very enthusiastic and liberal with my application of the cleaning solution, and I applied a lot more pressure. I really wanted a deep clean and basically soaked the chair and scrubbed at the stains, especially the difficult ones that had OxyClean, Dawn, or some other cleaning solution on them. I started with the back of the chair and you could see the color change as I applied the solution and worked my way across and down the chair. As many of you saw in my fall thrift video, the seat of the chair was heavily stained. When I filmed that video, I told you I thought it might be coffee, but I'm not sure what it is because it actually looks like the fabric is changing color due to age. One of you guys said that you thought it could be the seat filler changing the color, which I still don't know, but in any case, I want to thank all of you guys for your tips and your tricks for cleaning the chair. I tried a bunch of your solutions and I saved all of them for future reference. At this point in my attempts at stain removal, I had applied Oxy and let it sit for a few hours. Then I went over it with the little green machine. At first, I didn't want to leave the Oxy on too long in case it damaged the fabric. It's been, I don't know, an hour and a half maybe. I've gone over it to a point where my arm actually hurts from squeezing and pulling. It still looks kind of discolored and stuff, but that's because that part is dry and that part is still wet. So when it completely dries, it should hopefully be all the same color. I could see that I was getting a lot of funk out of it. But I'm not sure about this bottom. I did scrub as hard as I could in some areas, but I actually think I was starting to hurt the fabric. So I stopped going that hard. But this is what we've got as of right now. I just finished cleaning the chair, and this is the water that was pulled out of the chair as I was cleaning it. So yeah, gross. Ready? Oh, that is disgusting. Okay, I think I have to clean it again, right? Oh, puke. Okay, after much cleaning and cleaning and cleaning, this is not coming off. I don't know what it is, you guys. I thank you so much to everybody who commented about what I could try. I'm so grateful. So many of you had great ideas I'd never heard of, your own solutions that work for you. And, I just think this is not a stain that comes off. I don't know what it is. I feel like, I'm not sure. It's gotten better. It has gotten better, but it is still there. So I have an idea, a creative solution. what do we do when we can't get rid of something and we have to live with it? Something, unattractive that we can't do anything about it. We have to live with it. We hide it. Here's my creative solution. If you watched my English country cottage video, you know that I really like that style. As part of the style of English country cottage is that they have things that have been around for a long time. Like this chair has been around for, at the least, it's been around since like the 1980s probably. There's no reason to get rid of it. It's still in good condition-ish, but things break down and, fabrics fall apart and maybe you don't have the money to reupholster it. Well, luckily I had a drop cloth left over from another project I did. Actually, this is an old couch seat cover. I covered my couch with a drop cloth. I made these pillow covers for her. This is what she's looking like now. And I'm pretty okay with it. I like that it's kind of made it a little more casual. In the end, I'm pretty happy with my new wingback chair. I like the idea of switching out the cushion cover, and I would like to experiment with a down-filled cushion at some point. On a thrifting note, I am headed to the DC area and we're going to be going through New Jersey and Philly, so let me know if there are any thrift stores you'd like me to visit for the channel, or if you think there are any that I'd like. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye!